Hi everyone, welcome back to another tutorial, another new week of painting. I hope you're all keeping very well. This week I am going to paint a request from a patron, Jaspreet, I think your name is. A painting of the Moraine Lake in Alberta in Canada. I got it right, Alberta in Canada. Jaspreet asked me could I show him my take on this kind of a scene, so I said yeah, I'll do this for you, no problem. So this week we're going to paint that, some nice kind of snowy mountains, the lake, some trees, so lots of nice techniques in there this week that you can try at home. So yeah, let me show you what I have set up here. I have a canvas, 16 by 12 canvas. I have no paints yet. I'm just getting my paper palette ready, so it's just basic paper palette. Okay, I'll just cut a piece off of it. There it is, paper palette. Okay, and they're very, very handy, especially for tutorials, because you can just take them off and throw them in the bin. You see, now I will use some of that white for this one. I'll scrape it off with a knife and stick it onto this. So that's it, 16 by 12 canvas. Quick look around my studio. I have my box here next to me with another palette. I actually love these timber palettes, but I can't use them for tutorials because it's just too messy and you won't see the mixing. But I love using these, it's much more natural. So lots of paintings. There's the wave we did last week, and I added in the surfer afterwards. It was only after a suggestion by a follower that I added maybe a surfer or something like that. So I put in the surfer. Turned out quite nice, didn't it? So there we go, that wave, must frame that. So yeah, lots of paintings hanging up all over the place, look, loads of them. Don't know what to do with them, I'll just keep them here I suppose. A couple of them framed, that's a nice one there. So yeah, a couple of these framed. They were hanging in a restaurant, but I took them down because everything is closed over this COVID-19, so I took them down and took them home just in case there's any interested parties. At least I can then sell them. So there we go. So that's it. I hope you like this week's tutorial. Get your stuff ready and we'll have a bit of fun with this one. Lots of nice techniques in this. Okay, here we go. Now, my colours. I will tell you what colours I'm going to use today. I have titanium white, naples yellow, cadmium yellow pale. I have a little phaylo blue, some alizarin crimson, some burnt umber, a little cobalt blue and some black. I might use one or two others. I'll see how I go really. Now there's the photograph, isn't that wonderful? Moraine Lake in Alberta in Canada, am I correct? Please do correct me, Jaspreet, if I am wrong. But this one just kind of stood out. It has some lovely pale colours in the distance, some nice blues, and some nice rich kind of turquoisey greens then going on here in the front down in the lake. It's absolutely stunning. So I think something like this would be a nice study. Now it's only a 16 by 12 canvas, so we won't have much, not too much detail at least. But look, that's it. The first thing I'm going to do is a little sketch. Now, let's first, I suppose, draw the horizon line. And the horizon line, in my eyes, would be the most distant part of the landscape where the sky meets the foreground as such, or the background meets the foreground. So, let's just say where the lake goes across, okay? Let's just put the lake across here like this. Doesn't have to be straight. And let me see now. We have a row of trees that come along like this. I'll just put those in roughly like that. Everything is just kind of very roughly done. We have a little bit of a green going up like that. We have a kind of a hill going up like that there. We have another one kind of going up like that. This will all, it's only all very, very kind of rough now, okay? Now the hills in the distance, these are probably the important ones, I would say. I'm going to go with one that comes going like that, and then it takes a dip down and it comes out and down like that. Okay, we have a lovely snow in between that, a lovely kind of a light blue kind of a snow, and then we have another one that kind of comes out like that and it comes down like this. Okay, it continues on straight, but then now these are all just little ridges that I'm putting in, so I'm just being very sort of loose with this, okay, very loose. These ones are more distant then, We have another one that kind of comes up a little bit more pointy, and it comes off like that. Just very, very loosely. I just want all this to be very, very loose now, okay? So, let's go and have a bit of fun with this. I'm going to start with a medium brush. So any kind of a medium brush that you have, look, a medium stubby or just a regular medium flat brush. I'm going to go with this one, it's nice and soft. And I'm going to just take a nice mix of light blue for the sky first. So I'll dampen my brush in some thinners. Okay, look, just a quick dampen, very loosely. Now we don't want this soaking wet, just a little bit of damp. And let's take a little bit of cobalt blue and some titanium white, okay? There we go. Now don't mix too much, just a little bit of each, that's all. A little bit of blue. I want to go nice and bright and very, very pale with this sky. In the painting you can see the sky is really kind of very dark blue. I'm not keen on that kind of richness in the sky. I would prefer to have just a kind of a nice pale blue sky, but maybe just one or two little clouds sort of flicking across it, you know what I mean? I think that would probably suit the sky much better. Take a bit of white and put a bit of white just along the bottom there. So I just want it kind of nice and light as it comes down. Okay, and just take another tiny bit of turpentine, a bit more white, a little bit more cobalt. With the cobalt blue you can get away with a lot because it's not a very rich colour. It doesn't have a lot of saturation compared to the phaylo. If I was using phaylo blue it would be very overpowering for the palette and for the colour. So let me show you. If I just tiny bit of phaylo, look, it goes really a kind of a greeny blue very, very, very quickly. So you have to be careful with that. I'm going to stick with the cobalt, I think, for this, just for this sky. Nice and subtle, that's all I want. No big deal, just nice and subtle, nice and cool. And the cobalt is a slightly warmer blue, especially when it's mixed with white. You can almost get a hint of a kind of bluey mauve in the colour if you ever try it yourself. So it's a nice warm colour, nice very, very warm blue. So look, just a nice simple blue sky all the way across. Bring a bit of white across over here. And I think I might just add one or two small clouds into this, just one or two. No big deal. I'll just dry my brush on tissue, okay? Just give it a wipe. And let me just pick up a little bit of white, just a little bit on the tip of my brush, look. That's all, that'll do. And let's just go along and just dab a little bit of white in here or there, okay? And let's put another bit up here. You see? It's just so far off in the distance, there's really, you don't have to be too fussy with this at all. And too perfect. Just dab a little bit of white on your canvas, that's all. And this now will kind of help those pale blue mountains really kind of show off. Even though they're very pale and off in the distance, a light sky will really help them kind of stand out that little bit more, you know what I mean? Now, that's fine, that'll do. I'm just going to get my soft brush, my wife's makeup brush, no less. She'd kill me if she found out. And let's just soften this in. Very quickly, right across, no big deal. There we go. And fine, that will do. Moving on to our mountains. Now the mountains, I'm going to go for a smaller flat brush. I think I'll try my small stubby, or will I go for something a bit bigger actually. I have a couple of different types of brushes here. Let me see, let me show you. Look, lots of different types of flats, you see. Just regular flats, nothing fancy, cheap regular flats. The problem is sometimes I don't clean my brushes that well, so they go a little bit on the hard side. That's fine, I've cleaned that now. So I may go for, let me see now. I go for something along the lines of this. I think this one. I think that's a nice starter. Right, let's pick some colour for this. When I'm looking at the photograph on that now, on the reference photograph, the colour that stands out to me immediately is phaylo blue and white. That's the colour I see right away. It's a very rich, even though it's so far off in the distance, it's still a very, very rich blue. Okay? It's pale but rich, if that makes sense. I might take a hint of crimson as well. And I'm making this nice and thick now because I want it to cover really well. I don't want to be having to go over and over and over this constantly, okay? I want it to cover really nicely. Let me try that now, look. Phaylo blue, crimson and some white. And let me just have a look. And it's probably even darker than that, isn't it, by right? Take a little bit of blue off of that, look. And let's go up like that. Very loosely, you see. Now I'll take a little bit more pink, I think. So a little bit more crimson in that. Alright, just like so. And I go across into this one over here. So let's go up here like that. Now, next thing I'm going to do is, I'm going to just take a small rough brush, right? A little small rough brush, and just to create a bit of distance in this, I'm just going to create a little bit of lighter colour at the bottom of this. Just like a misty sort of, just to give it a little bit of distance, you see? I think it'll help when all of this kind of goes in. And I'm going to then maybe take a small pointy brush, which is absolutely completely rock hard because I never cleaned it. You see, that's completely hard now, it's no good whatsoever right now. I'll have to give it a good clean. I'll use another small pointy brush and I'll take some white and a bit of blue, so just a little light blue, and I'll just add a little bit of highlight just here and there off in the distance. An indication of snow up here and there on the hill, okay? And that will also act as a sort of separator between these two hills. And a little bit maybe just along here and there, look. It's no big deal, just a little bit, a hint of snow, that's all. Okay? Just like that. Again, nothing too dramatic. Right, let's go back to our hill. And a slightly darker one now here, yes? But I'm going to start off with a nice rich blue on top first. So, little tiny bit of thinners, right? A little bit of blue. A hint of crimson. And perhaps a hint of burnt umber. Tiny, tiny hint. Now when you add the burnt umber, it may go a kind of a greeny blue. Just pick up a little bit more crimson and that will kind of knock it back slightly. Now I think I want a bit darker than that. Let's go with more burnt umber, look. Burnt umber. Some phaylo blue. Now that looks green, doesn't it? But when you pick up a bit of crimson, the crimson brings it more into that mauvey kind of colour again. You see? Let's go and have a look at this. Now this is probably a little bit green, yeah, that's a bit green for me still. Let's take a little bit more crimson, phaylo blue, and a bit more crimson. Okay, let's try that. Now, let's just fill that in, that nice dark colour. There we go. Now I am tending to go a bit more pinky with this. When I say pinky, I mean kind of more of a sort of a plummy sort of a shade, because that will help give it that bit more distance. Let's just try it and see. How's that looking? Then a little bit of pink and a bit of white, just down towards the bottom here. Okay, just like that. Now we have the basic hill finished, right? So we can now just kind of go along and add a little bit of detail. Well, not detail, but just a bit of a nicer, finer outline along the edge, you see? Just to sharpen up the edge a little bit. And go along here. Just to help kind of define it that little bit more, that's all. It is a very kind of a rocky hill, isn't it? Now I'm going to take my small brush, okay, my small flat brush, and I'm going to take some white, some phaylo blue, and I'm going to go up to the top and just add a little bit of that light colour just here and there, okay? Because I'm imagining the light is kind of hitting off of this, as it's so far up and so high up in the sky that the light is kind of hitting off the top of the mountain. And I'm going to soften that then just down into the rest of the hill, okay? See? It's like that. Make it a bit paler just over on this side. So there we are so far. Okay. Now I'll do highlights and stuff later on, okay? I just want to get this sort of blocking in done first. This is the most important part, just to get the blocking in, and then you can put in darks and lights afterwards. Yes? Now more white, and what I'm going to do is, I am going to just, with my finger, I'm going to just soften this edge here, okay? Just very gently soften them together ever so much, okay? Just to help create a little bit more distance. Almost like a misty sort of a feeling to that distant side there, you see? It just kind of takes that, pushes it off a little bit more. Now, damp brush again. And we're going to fill all this in here now, yes? So a nice rich colour for this, some phaylo blue, some crimson, lots of crimson, lots of phaylo blue, and a hint of white. Let's see now how this looks. Yeah, that's not bad at all, is it? Shall we go with that look? There we go. Down like that. So, thank you, Jasper, for this suggestion. Jasper is a patron of mine. You know, with the recent passing of my mother and stuff, it was just very, very difficult to really sit down and get proper time to paint and to kind of focus and get my mind into painting. It was just kind of really, really difficult. And it's only the past week or so I've slowly been coming around to painting again. Because you know, you really do have to be in that mindset, I think, to pick up a brush and to focus and enjoy what you're doing. You really do. So it's been kind of tough the past 2, 3, 4 weeks. I do apologise as well to my patrons if I haven't been kind of uploading more regularly to my Patreon page. But I have one coming for you. I have a nice one coming of Gugambara in Cork. Now it was one that I had before, but it's gone. It just disappeared off my hard drive. It's gone. So I am going to do it again because somebody asked me could I do it for them again. So I said, yeah, no problem, I will do it. So I'm going doing that for my Patreon page this week as well. So I will be busy this week. Busy, busy, busy. It's better to be busy, I suppose, isn't it? Now a little bit of crimson with burnt umber just down here, make it a little bit warmer, okay? And there's not too much paint in my brush now. It's kind of, I won't say very wet, but it's not thick in pastel paint. It's just a thin layer of paint, that's all. Just to deepen it just a little bit there. And also I'm going to take an extra little bit of blue and maybe a hint of black, alright? Because I just want to darken just a little bit here and there the end of these hills, okay? Because they're kind of coming down into the valley and then they're getting darker, aren't they? Okay, we'll stop at that now for a second and let's just have a look. I'm going to take my small brush and I'm going to start putting in some hints of lights here and there just up on that mountain, okay? I'm going to go for some phaylo blue and lots of white, okay? That'll give me a nice bright snowy kind of a bluey effect, if you like. Let's just try that and just create some little ridges here and there, look. And again, that can be used as well to separate these two hills. I know they're one hill, but it's separated by a big band of snow coming down the middle, isn't it? So let's just get some of these lights in. Maybe a bit more on the blue side, actually. So you see, you try a colour. If you don't think it works, you just add a little colour to it. A little bit more blue. That's better now, isn't it? That's much nicer, I think. A much nicer shade. And just scraping up and down, following the direction of that hill, okay, of the mountain. You have to follow that direction to give you the impression of it coming downwards. Isn't that right? There we go. Just a very kind of a loose impression. Now these are so far off in the distance as well, they're not going to see much really. Alright, and then I'm going to take small pointy detail brush. I'm going to take some white with that blue and I'm going to make just that little band of snow down between those hills. You see that lovely snow coming down between the hills? That's very nice, isn't it? I'm going to put that down. Just like so. It's getting more, a little bit more blue. Then it just sort of stops and fizzles out, doesn't it? Just at the end like that, doesn't it? And you can put a hint of little bits of snow here and there as well. Just little tiny hints here and there. Again, you know, you don't have to be absolutely perfect with this. Nobody says you have to be perfect. Just make it your own. If you think it looks fine, then that's great. Just make it your own. Okay, I'll put some brighter ones up on top in a moment. One or two. There's kind of one or two just here and there. Alright. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is clean that brush, right? Because that's a nice brush, I like that brush. I'm going to clean that, and I'm going to make a very bright, sunny, snowy kind of a colour. So some titanium white, a little Naples yellow, and a hint of crimson, just a tiniest little touch. And then I'm going to go up and start adding some nice light up there. And you see, the thing about mixing blues and when you're dipping into your turpentine is that it makes the turpentine very blue very quickly. So be careful because you'll end up with a green. So I may need to change my turpentine in a moment. See, just little suggestions of very bright highlights up there, just where the sun is sort of catching the tips of the mountains, okay? And it's very subtle now, I know it's very subtle, but it's there. It's nice to just try and get a little bit of it in. Understand? Okay, we have a little bit coming along here. So you see, like, we have some of the lights done. Now you can then put in some darks if you want. You can kind of concentrate on some of the darks then. Now let me just get another little bit of sunlight on the snow up there. Alright, and then you could get some nice dark shades. So let's go for some nice phaylo blue, with a bit of black, just a little hint. And then you could get some nice shades. So we could, for example, come over here and let's get some nice shaded areas. Okay, just like that, you see. And in behind these, you might have a couple of shadowed areas kind of popping down there and there. It's just a hint, you know. It's a tiny little suggestion, that's all. Okay, I know I won't do any more, I just want to keep it simple, just like that, alright? Just nice and simple. I may even just soften these ones back slightly. Just to create a little bit of a shadow in there. Right, that'll do fine. Now I'm happy enough with that. Now at the base of that, you can see there's a very light colour. I'm not keen on that colour. I know it's... Look, we could try it. But it's not a colour that I would put in. I would more, if it was me, I would rather just put a nice mist along the bottom of that. Let's try some burnt umber, a little black with some white. It's a kind of a fawny, it's a dull kind of a fawn grey sort of a colour, isn't it? Black burnt umber and a little white. So look, we just put it in. If we don't like it, we can change it. Isn't that right? Because it's all about changing things to suit ourselves on this program. We call it a program, will we? Just for a bit of fun, should we? Let's call it a program. On this program, you never know. Someday I might get my own little show, and I'll be on TV screens nationwide. All right. Well, one would hope anyway. I'm going to soften this just up here and there. Look, just up here and there into the hill, because it does. It's just kind of disappearing itself off into the hill. And soften it down. Perhaps add a little bit of white here and there. Very quickly, very loosely with the brush. Now, how's that? Look, it's fine, isn't it? Take a bit of white, maybe add a little bit of white snow, just a hint of it. A little hint of it coming across there. And that'll do fine. Okay, moving along. Now the next thing I want to do is, which is very important, which you should do in painting anyway, is change your turpentine. Look at the colour of that turpentine. It's completely blue. So look, I'm just going to change it quickly. I'll take some tissue and I'll just soak out the turpentine inside there. Look, it's grand and clean now again. So let's just now get some fresh turpentine. I have some linseed oil mixed with this. A little drop of linseed, you see? So turpentine mixed with linseed oil. And the smell of this is beautiful. There's something about the smell of turpentine. It's just completely different from any other medium that you can find. It's gorgeous. I love it. It brings back memories to me. Right, I'm going to start now next with this dark area of trees along here. First of all, I'm going to just fill it in with this medium stubby brush. Okay? A very dark green. I'll go with some black, not too much, a little cadmium yellow, and perhaps a hint of phaylo blue. Very, very dark green. A kind of a blacky green. Okay? Let's just go along and fill this in. Right across the horizon line, up around there. And then I'll go up in the general shape of that tree line there, okay? Just the general shape. So, look, just go like that, see? Now, that's just the basic undercoat. Let's call it an undercoat, shall we? The basic undercoat is done. I'm going to clean that brush now, and I'm going to get my fan brush. And the fan brush is excellent for this, it's just perfect. What I'll do is, I'll take a little bit of black first, right? A little bit of black, and perhaps a bit of burnt umber. And I'll just go along and just put in the darks first, look. Here and there, up and down, up and down. Just very quickly. Especially at the bottom, it'll be very dark at the bottom. Dab, 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 up and down, okay? Very simply, just like that. Then, when I finish that, I'm going to give it a quick clean. I'm then going to go into a brighter colour. Now, my fan brush is not perfectly smooth and flat. I would prefer if it was completely smooth and flat, but it's not. So I just have to use it. Let's go and get a brighter colour. Now I'll go to one side of the fan brush, okay? So a tiny bit of yellow into that green. So it's not a very, very brighty colour, very bright yellowy colour. It's just a light green, that's all. And plenty of turpentine in this, that will help it stick. Now, let's go. All the way across. See? And it's just a kind of a rough idea. That's all you want. A rough idea of trees in that corner. Does that kind of look like trees in the distance? I suppose it does. I can always take a little pointy brush and just give it a little tiny little flicks just to highlight some of them a little bit better. You see? But it's just something off in the distance, that's all. Now let's move across to this side here. For that, I am going to take a small flat brush, okay, a medium. This is probably small by comparison to most other brushes that you would see people using. A lot of people love using on painting videos these big square brushes. I like to use smaller brushes. It just gives you a lot more control. Alright, I'm going to dampen that, just a quick dampen, and I'm going to get some burnt umber, go into the centre here, look. Burnt umber, Naples yellow, and some black. It's just, I'm starting off now with a kind of a dark, browny kind of a grey tone first. Just to kind of get the canvas covered, basically, that's all. Get the canvas covered. Maybe take a hint of phaylo. That'll bring a bit of green into it. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is, there's a bit of a green off in the distance, some green hills. Or not hills, kind of a tree kind of an area with all trees in it. Take a bit of yellow, bit of Naples yellow. Let me just check that. Yeah, that's not bad. Let's go along and just dab, 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 dab off into the distance there, look. Bit more yellow, more blue. Okay, Try a bit of a darker green then, just towards the front. As it comes down. And then we can even try a bit of the brighter colour as well, off in the distance. Okay? I'm just kind of using the corner of the brush, that's all. I'm going to go up here, I have a little bit of a dark area up here. It's kind of a cliffy area. And then I'm going to finish off this hill. Again, this is just a kind of undercoat sort of colour that I'm using. Now, I'm going to start putting some dark colours in. Some black, some burnt umber. I'm going to start working some of that in here and there. It's a very rocky cliff, isn't it? So we're going to have to try and create the effect of some cliff edge, kind of sharp, rocky cliff effect on this. Now it can be quite tricky, it takes a lot of time, but we'll try it. Okay, let's actually switch to a smaller brush, a smaller flat brush. And I think I start off now with some nice dark colour first. Some black, some burnt umber. And I'll just try and create sort of these upright brush strokes, leaving the brush strokes as well. Those dark brush strokes, I'll leave all those. That really helps. And let's go up here now, a little bit up there. Of course, a palette knife would be fine for this as well. If you want to use a palette knife, you can, absolutely. Now just go along the bottom here and perhaps create a very dark ridge of colour just along the base over here. Okay. Now put that brush away, and I'm going to get another flat brush, a clean one, and then I'm going to take some Naples yellow, a dry brush now, some Naples yellow, little hint of crimson. Perhaps a hint of burnt umber as well. A nice warm fawny kind of a colour. And let's just pull some of that down. Create some lights of that cliff sort of facing downwards, you see. Now this is all just very kind of loose. I will maybe do a bit of knife work as well with this later on, but all you want to do is just get the effect. You know, let your mind fill in the blanks then, but you just want to get the effect of a very rocky kind of cliff face here. Now, we have a nice kind of a sandy bank down there as well, don't we? Let's try and get that in. Some burnt umber, some crimson. And let's just go on, boom, like that. Okay. Again, more crimson, more Naples yellow. There we are. Pull that down there. Nice bright colour, so the sunlight's catching it. Now, almost spilt my turpentine all over myself there. but it's fine. Let's get some crimson, a little bit of naples yellow, perhaps a hint of cadmium yellow as well. That'll give me a nice nice bright kind of colour to bounce off some of those rocks here and there. See? Okay. Now, let's try a knife. So we're just kind of messing around, trying different things. Now I'm looking for a specific palette knife. There it is. The one with a nice flat edge. That should give us some nice effects, shouldn't it? So let's just go along and go like that. Very gently up there. Alright. Now, again, I like to kind of put in little tiny details with the detail brush. So I'll take my very small, pointy detail brush wherever it's gone. There it is. Okay, and I'll take some, let's get some black first. And let's just put in hints of little details, okay? Just downward strokes really, just to show the shadows of the crevices and the cracks, you know? And we could even put some burnt umber in there. But I think it's coming on pretty well so far, isn't it? I hope you're happy enough with this now, Jaspreet. I really do. I like to try and take a scene that you may think is very complicated and try to kind of simplify it. You know, I like kind of working like that just to show you how it can be simplified. Of course, you can just keep going and putting loads of details into this, if you like. It's completely up to yourself. You know, normally I may sit here for 3 hours, 2 or 3 hours doing this until I get it right. But you're kind of limited with the tutorial, you see. You just have to kind of find a nice kind of a balance, a nice compromise. Okay, you know, at the end of some tutorials, I think to myself, yeah, I could have done that a lot better. But all I had was an hour recording time, so that's what I could do. You know, that does happen from time to time. Oh, a little bit of shadow on that. Okay, alright, let's put a hint of light around here, just to show that light passing through the valley. A bit of light around there. Okay. Now, okay, I think we're almost ready for our water. There's a little bit of white I can see popping across there. Like so. And perhaps add a little bit up there, just to brighten that. A little bit there, just to brighten there. And I may add, just onto the cliff face there, this cliff, I might add a little hint of green just here and there. Because I can see a little hint of a green just here and there on that. It's only subtle now, you can hardly even see it, but it's there still. I'd like to get a little bit on it. Yeah, that'll do fine. And I may even soften some of this down as well. Okay. Now, time for water, and the water will bring this to life. I hope. I hope it does, I really do. So let's Let's have a look at colours. I have enough colour out, I think. I think I'll just get a clean brush. I'm going to give my brushes a clean here, okay? Just turn over the tissue because it's very dirty, look. So I'll put it down clean side down. And let's just give our brush a nice clean with some turpentine. The way I clean my brushes is I dip my brush into my turpentine and then I just drag it along my tissue like this, okay? Now my turpentine is gone, I need more turpentine. And let's do this water. So let's first start with a mix of a turquoise. I can see a nice turquoise in there, but I won't go too greeny with this. Let's take some blue, down into the green, look, because this will help. A little bit of white, a little hint of cadmium yellow. I'm going to go very, very bright now with this. Now how's that? Now is it too bright? No, I don't think that's bad. I'm just going right across, left to right now, all of the way, okay? Left to right, left to right. Cut under those trees, in underneath those like that. And remember always, when you're painting water, it's always left to right. Don't go up and down like this, or at an angle, because it just won't look right. Always left to right, because water sits flat. So everything is horizontal, okay? And if it picks up some of the colours, that's absolutely fine. That's good. If it picks up some of the colours from this boundary line here, that's good. It makes it a lot more natural to pick up some of those colours, look. I'm even going to go into it slightly, you see? Very slightly. Almost softening it together. Now as it comes down, we're going to get more blue. So a tiny drop of turpentine and some more blue, some phthalo blue, and a little bit more of the green, this kind of yellowy. There we go. So I'm just going a little bit darker now, a little bit more on the blue side, but still a kind of a bit of a turquoise in there. I'll just mix a bit more colour now because I'm running out of colour very fast. Hit a hint of crimson this time. Alright. As it comes down here, you can see it's going much more of a greeny colour, isn't it? Reflecting what's above. So a bit of yellow and then a bit of burnt umber, I would think. Perhaps even a bit of black. Little hint of black. How about that? Nice dark colour. Nice dark greeny kind of colour. Okay. So we're just getting all this kind of base colour done. And we can add ripples and stuff then later. So let's come over now and we're going to start adding some more blue. I need more blue. My blue is gone. So I need more phthalo blue. Which one is phthalo? Ah, there it is. Tiny bit of phthalo blue. Beautiful colour, probably my favourite colour so far. Phthalo blue, it's a beautiful rich colour. So a bit more blue now as it comes across. And look, plenty of turpentine, don't be shy with the turpentine. It'll really help you move your paint around on the canvas, okay? Don't be shy. A bit of phthalo blue again, drop of turpentine, perhaps even a hint of crimson this time, because it's getting a little bit more on the warm side as it comes across, isn't it? So let's put it across there like that. And now we have the basic shade of the water done. Now we can start adding some nice ripples to this with a nice small flat brush, okay? Nice simple flat brush. There we go. What is it? A number 6. First of all, I'm going to mix a nice bright turquoise. So some white, some yellow and a little bit of blue. There we go. And I'm going to just go up here and add a little dabs of that just here and there, okay? Now perhaps a bit more blue. And off in the distance, let's just put a little bit of light across on the water. A little bit more blue, plenty of white. And I don't want it, you see, to look sort of washed out. I want the colours to be rich but pale at the same time. Does that make sense? It's just kind of a hit and miss, you see, that's all. Hit and miss all the way across. A bit of blue and a bit of white, and hit and miss. Let it kind of dance around on the canvas, you see. So now we're starting to get a bit of movement, aren't we? Now I'm going to change, in fact no I won't change, I'll keep to a nice bright, luminous kind of a blue colour. And I come down here and there's some beautiful bright bluey ripples going on, which I really like. And I just want these at the very tip of my brush now, okay? Because I have a nice flat edge on the top of my brush, so I'm reloading my brush every few seconds. Because it's a really wonderful colour. And I just want those nice solid brush strokes. There, you see? That beautiful there, that kind of blue. Let's take more of that, some phaylo blue. Add some of that in here as we go along. Beautiful. I love these kind of rich colours. They sort of bring a painting to life, don't they? Now some blue with some crimson I put in, just here and there. Okay, there we go. And you maybe even bring one or two of those colours just kind of gently across here and there. Even just a little bit of blue on its own. See, like this. And then I'm going to introduce some kind of nice greeny tones, or maybe even a bit of brown would be nice too. We could take a bit of burnt umber, some black, and possibly a little bit of yellow. So a very dirty, mucky kind of a green almost could kind of come into the painting slightly, couldn't it? In between that blue that I just made. See, look, just a little hint of it just here and there. Perhaps, you see now, kind of soften it off up into that colour up overhead. Then maybe a hint of that fawny colour to suggest the reflection of this, okay? Now it's only a very subtle suggestion, you see what I mean? It just helps bring the painting together, I find. Now I want to go with a nice dark colour in here as well, so I'm going to take some black, some phaylo blue. So that's a very, very rich colour now, isn't it? And I want to go really dark. So in around that kind of blue, create these little ripples. It's the way they almost kind of crisscross past each other, that kind of effect. And again, they're kind of dancing in and out on the water, you see? and it's a lot of fun doing this. You should try this. It's really a lot of fun. You know, you don't have to worry about it being perfect. It's just, in this moment, it's just, you know, coming out of your hands onto the canvas. It's a wonderful feeling, it really is. Now let me get in here and perhaps add a little bit of a dark colour up here. Okay, very subtly. Alright, I'm just kind of looking around here now. Let's put someone on a boat, shall we? I see someone out there on a boat. I think that'll be lovely. Let's just take a little burnt umber, a little black, and let's just go along like this. Okay. Very subtle reflection. And then we'll have someone sitting down in that boat. Okay. Perhaps a hint of Naples yellow just to suggest some light here and there. Alright, now the next thing I'll do is take a little hint of light blue and just go under that boat very lightly. Give it a little bit of a ripple. You see? Just to break it up a little bit. And there's one more thing that I might like to do, and that is take some of that light blue again and just perhaps add one or two little ripples off in the distance, just to separate and just give a bit of light over there. Okay, and that's not bad now at all. I'm going to sign that. I would kind of continue on with it, but because it's a tutorial, I'm going to have to try and wrap things up, because looking at my camera now, I have a few minutes left of recording. So just enough to finish up. I don't have any spare batteries, by the way, so I'm really governed by my camera. Yeah, that's not bad. I might take a palette knife, wherever it's gone. Where did I put it? Yeah, I might mix a very bright turquoise just with plenty of white. And I might just go up here, add a little bit of that bright turquoise here and there. Now, is that better? And with that, my friends, I will wish you a good day. We put a board in. And let me zoom in and show you what we have created, okay? I hope you like it. Nice hills off in the distance. And look at that, isn't that lovely? And down onto the reflection. Now, of course, I will kind of walk away on that hill there. But that was just very kind of quickly done, very roughly done. I think it's turned out very, very nice, don't you? And there we are. Thank you so much for watching. Let me turn this around. You can see my new earpiece that I made myself. I'm messing around with these lavalier mics, trying to find a decent sound. I hope that was better. I do. Lights again, have to sort this place out. Thank you so much for watching. Jasper, I hope you liked it. Yeah, I think I'm very happy it turned out nice. I think with the frame that's going to really stand out lovely on the wall. So thank you so much for that suggestion. I will be back again very soon with another tutorial on YouTube. I have one coming on my Patreon channel very soon. In the next couple of days I should have one done for my Patreon page. Pop over and take a look if you want to see what's going on over there. Lots of extra tutorials and you know, just for a small bit of support, that's all. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much. You've been so kind and so patient with me. Happy painting. Do subscribe and I will see you next week. God bless.